Welcome to the Gavel. I'm Bandit. Even while on their annual recess, federal lawmakers are still carrying out oversight functions. This time, members of the House Committee on Customs and Excise took a tour across northern customs formations. During the visit, they raised concerns over massive revenue losses due to border closures and discovered sharp practices at the Kano Free Trade Zones. Here's more in this report.
The House of Representatives Committee on Customs and Excise paid an oversight visit to the Kano Jigawa command of the Nigeria Customs Service, where they were received by the controller of the command.
You may please be seated.
Chairman of the committee, Leke Abejide, in an interactive session between the committee and the command's leadership, raised concerns around sharp practices in the free trade zones of the country, leading to loss of several billions of naira in revenue to the government.
There are a lot of complaints, petitions against that place. We are going to go 5 years back to retrieve all the revenue that lost through that process and make sure they are paid back to the Federation account. Thank God, God brought you to this command. I was being briefed all the time through the Controller General of Customs and the DCGT&T about the progress here, because I always inform them. This is what I'm hearing from Kano. And you know, Kano is my home. If anything goes wrong, I will know easily. And thank God, when you came, the story also came that somebody came and changed the pattern. And now the result is glaring for all of us to see.
Responding, the controller of the Kano Jigawa command, Abubakar Dalhatu, alluded to the challenge and informed the committee of an improvement in revenue within 1 year.
Baggage operation, revenue collection at baggage seat for half year 2024 was 11,974,207 naira 24 kobo. For the corresponding period in the half year of 2025, Mr. Chairman, the baggage revenue collection stand at 18,439,589 naira 87 kobo. For the period under review, Migratory Border Post, half year 2024, Migratory Border Station collected total of 322 naira, 135 naira 10 kobo only. However, between January to June this year, 2025, the station collected 1,173,100 naira only. This is a 264.16% variation compared to 2024. Kano Free Trade Zone. The Kano Free Trade Zone half year 2024 revenue, that is January to June 2025, the zone collected 10,824,421,717 naira only. The Kano Free Trade Zone has shown a remarkable increase in revenue collected in half year 2025 by 87.25% difference as against year 2025 revenue collection.
The House Committee on Customs plans to conduct an investigation to recover all revenue lost by the government due to sharp practices.
It will not be too good for us to invite Customs to National Assembly on this issue. When people are losing money, definitely we are their representatives, we must do our work. So it's a signal, and I will take it up with the Controller General of Nigeria Customs Service, and I will let him know this is the challenges that is still happening in Kano. Not only in Kano, even Nane. I think maybe Lagos is a bit fair, but I'm aware of these two places now.
Controller of the command, Abubakar Dalhatu, further informed the lawmakers of seizures made within the first 6 months of this year.
The command improved supervision of patrol squads, which led to several arrests, detention and seizures of imported, exported, controlled as well as prohibited items, including legal convictions. Significant among these arrests include 17 cartons of camera drones, 16,000 582 cartons of foreign spaghetti, 582 belts of smuggled used clothing. Through surveillance operation, 2 different interceptions of pangolin scales were recorded, weighing 506.8 kilograms. Interceptions of 491,000 tablets of tramadol tablets. Sometimes there was smuggled with SUV vehicle in March 2025 along Megateri to the Noah axis, and eventually handed over and jointly destroyed by NAFDAC, Customs, and DSS.
The committee then moved to the Kano Free Trade Zone, where they were updated on the foreign direct investment so far attracted.
Investment ownership. 143 Nigerians have investment here. Only 45 foreigners have investment. So the zone provides equal opportunity to Nigerians and foreigners alike. When you look at the internally generated revenue between January and as we speak today, sir, we have generated 1,199,198,985 naira 15 kobo. Our target for this year, the management sat down and set a target of 1.5 billion. So as of today, we have made 1.1. So between now and say September or October, we'll hit the target and go beyond that. Sir, I will not end without telling you our challenges, sir. One, as you came in, you saw our rules. Please, sir, we need your help. We also need your help to talk to your colleagues in other committees for NEBSA Act. NEBSA Act has been in the National Assembly for long, sir, so that it can be passed into law for us to be in line with other free zones in the world. We also need funding for publicity and marketing of NEBSA, not just Kano Free Zone, NEBSA activities. The zone is almost being filled up. We need additional land. So, sir, we want to appeal when we come to you, NEBSA at the headquarters come to you, sir. You support us in helping us solve some of these problems, sir.
The oversight visit of the House of Representatives Committee on Customs and Excise entered its second day with a visit to Kaduna Zone B Command. The committee expressed concern over the continuous closure of some Nigerian land borders and the resultant loss of revenue for the country.
We have 12 approved border stations. Only one is operational. Even that one is not full capacity, but rather being reduced because of the crisis between Niger and the Republic, which made it low and lower than expected. And even the 140 that we got wasn't through the borders, because the borders we ain't get anything. We got that because of the e-customs that came into Katsina as a recent development. We had Funtua Inland Dry Port. They took their first lodgement, which we have on record. They have taken, and this month alone, they paid in about 18 million. This is what even aid towards having that figure of 140, or else in the GBR, we had nothing. Even the baggage assessment, nobody comes to that place. We can't even make 30 million a month because of the insecurity. The GBR Katsina axis, nobody leaves GBR to Katsina after 4 p.m. People don't even move that place, let alone somebody to endanger, put his goods on the road.
The borders that were closed during the former president, most of them were opened.
In the 12, we have only one that is open in GBR.
Sir, we are physically there, and we can tell you what is happening there. I went.
No, I'm not talking of Casino one now.
Most of the borders are not opened. They are closed. Yeah.
But Idiroko is working.
Yes, they opened them one after the other.
Now it is open for some items, but vehicles are not allowed to come through the land border. That is how it is. Even Seme before too was also closed. I'm coming. Seme was also closed, but they are operating now. We know the revenue they generated. So that's why I believe much in what is said about issue of this Niger and Nigeria problem. I believe much in that. that if that one can be resolved, I know most of the borders will be opened.
The lawmakers were, however, displeased with the revenue efforts of some of the commands, despite having the complement of a number of staff, and demanded the expenditure of such commands.
Nigeria and Niger, there is no good relation. It means those of you there are idle. Most of the officers there are idle. Why don't we maybe ask the military to take over the place? Why we post you to where you'll be functioning? Because if you have 331 officers that are doing nothing, and we have other areas that you are needed, are you getting my point?
I get the point, sir.
So why don't we, and then just reduce your number to the only border that is operational now, and then most of you be moved out. So this is part of my recommendation.
Okay, sir.
Because to keep 331 officers to be going or to be sleeping while new areas are being opened up, I think we need to think about this.
The controller, Abba Aji Idris, attributed the low revenue to the continuous closure of the border stations in the state.
It is worth to note that revenue collection in Katsina Command remains low, largely due to the closure of the approved borders. Like I said earlier, only Jibia Magama is operational. All the others are officially closed. So except for Jibia Magama, which is itself inactive due to the ongoing political crisis between Niger Republic and Benin Republic. Most goods that do come to Jibia had to transit through Benin Republic before it comes to Niger, where it will be imported into Nigeria through the Jibia Magama border. But this is somehow not really what's happening, because Niger and Benin Republic are not in good terms politically. So this has disrupted legitimate trade routes and significantly limited customs operations in the region. However, Katsina Command was able to collect 140,709,372 naira between January and June 2025. Anti-smuggling activities. In our operations, despite revenue constraints, the command remains resolute in enforcement duties. A recent seizure of 698,600 tablets of tramadol of 250 milligrams each was made, and 174 rods of Indian hemp, and all in Katsina along the Ra axis. This highlights Command's dedication to combating illegal activities and protecting national security.
Members of the committee also made their concerns known about the challenges faced by the command.
Right from my childhood, this is what I'm hearing. Nigerian Customs Service, Kano-Jigawa Command. We are still on that Kano-Jigawa Command. We have Abra, we have Ligaton, we have Berdiva, we have Malamadori. In fact, we are preparing to make the international airport there to be Gavel. With all this contribution, we need to have Jigawa State Command. It is still Nigerian Customs Service.
There's something bad in getting low revenue. What I think we need here is, what effort are you making to get it improved? Because you have said you rolled out about 8 or 9 posts, and you were able to access only one. What are you doing in collaboration with other security agencies to get orders into your books? Because you cannot just sit down and say, okay, your border post, you can't access them. What effort are you making? Yes, the revenue is not coming. We understand that other posts have been blocked. But what effort are you making to get all this thing done?
Welcome back to the Gavel. We're still with the House of Representatives, where the Committee on Federal Character held an interactive session with the Federal Character Commission. During the meeting, lawmakers expressed concerns over what they describe as intrusions by other agencies into the Commission's core functions. Take a look.
On Tuesday, the House Committee on Federal Character held an interactive session with the acting chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Kayode Oladele.
Thank you.
The need to realize the principles of equity, inclusiveness and fairness in distribution of public offices and socio-economic opportunities across Nigeria was emphasized.
Mr. President has made it clear that no part of Nigeria must be left behind or feel excluded in the allocation of opportunities and resources. Our commission therefore plays a critical role in actualizing this national vision. And I'm also sure that that is exactly what we have been saying and discussing in the past few minutes that this meeting started. But why do we need to have a synergy with the Committee on Federal Character Commission in the House of Representatives? It is no secret that many of the grievances expressed across regions in Nigeria today, whether political, economic, or security-related, are rooted in perceptions of marginalization, domination, and exclusion. An effective Federal Character Commission, working together in partnership with the legislature, particularly your committee, can address these concerns at their very root by ensuring equitable representation and opportunity. When people see fairness in the system, they are more likely to trust the process and less likely to agitate for radical alternatives.
Mr. Oladele also seized the opportunity to point out the funding constraints faced by the Commission.
We must also acknowledge that paucity of funds remains one of the major constraints facing the Commission in the discharge of constitutional responsibilities. Inadequate funding affects our capacity to monitor MDAs effectively, to build digital compliance tools, and to conduct recruitment audits nationwide. But I am confident that with the support and intervention of the President and the National Assembly, especially this distinguished committee, this challenge can and will be overcome. Your continued support in the appropriation process and budgetary oversight can help reposition the Federal Character Commission for optimal performance. It is important, Mr. Chairman, to note that the Federal Character Commission has offices in all 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, and is statutorily mandated to monitor and regulate over 700 federal ministries, departments, and agencies, including applicable state-level institutions. This extensive national reach and oversight responsibility cannot be effectively executed without proper and adequate funding.
In his remarks, Chairman of the committee, Idris Wase, frowned at some of the agencies of government who seem to want to take over the duties of the Commission.
We are also very unhappy with the interference now, I say interference, of some agencies of government who want to come in and do the job alongside with you. We are not in collaboration, we are not in support of that. The Constitution is very clear, it's a constitutional provision. You are creation of the Constitution, not an act. I'm not belittling the act of Parliament, but whatever law you have anywhere, what you have in the Constitution supersedes. Section 3 of the 1999 Constitution amendment is very clear. Any other law that is inconsistent with the position of the Constitution, to the extent of that inconsistency, remains null and void. So there is no agency that can come and take over your job. I have seen communication, we have seen communication going out. This, we want to say, is a clear message to you.
He also frowned at some agencies carrying out recruitment without a nominal role.
I mentioned that we invited the Minister for Education to appear on Thursday. Among the reasons are, apart from the other one that I mentioned, of the advertisement, and we are pretty aware of an agency of government in the name of transparency trying to interfere with the recruitment process, and we are saying we are not allowing that, and so we are communicating this one to you. Take your duty, be in charge, and ensure the right thing is being done. And we shall continue to collaborate with you to ensure that the duties of the Commission are not usurped or taken.
And on this week's Constituency Focus, we'll sit down with Representative Adebayo Balogun, who represents Ibeju-Lekki Federal Constituency in Lagos State. Take a look.
We've been able to build at least about four schools, 4 classrooms, blocks of classrooms, hospital, a federal medical center annex has been brought into the federal constituency at Labora Wode. When we talk about schools, we have the Solalade Junior Secondary School, we have the Balogun Sanusi Primary School, we have the Debojo Secondary School, and now we are still working on 1 or 2 that would be completed very soon. And in area of empowerment, because Ibeju-Lekki used to be an agrarian local government until this dispensation when a lot of activities have been brought over, talking about the free trade zone, Lekki deep sea port, Dangote refinery and all the rest. This has actually changed the occupation of the people. And then we need to now train people in line with the reality on ground. One, people have to ensure that people get into the mainstream of most of these projects, the Dangote refinery and the rest. That means we must start training our children to be engineers, chemical engineers, petroleum engineers, even people into diving because of the deep sea port and all the rest. So we started encouraging our youths to ensure that they not just go to the university, but to take the right courses. And in the process, we're also assisting them in provision of JAM forms, bursaries, and all the stuff, financial assistance for the students. And for the artisans, there must be people who must, because we have the largest real estate development too in Ibeju-Lekki because of all this industrialization. So we've been able to do a lot of training for them in this field, working with the NDE, Nigerian Directorate of Employment, because if you work with them, they're able to give them certification, trade tests, and some of these certifications that will be able to make them work in some of these factories at the end of the day. So we'll be able to train at least close to 200-300 during the past few years. And also giving empowerment in terms of materials, deep freezers, fridges, mini buses, outboard engines, and for tailors and fashion designers too, we're giving them sewing machines and all the accessories. And for people in the beauty sector too, hairdressers and barbing, we've also been able to give them their necessary kits. We did about 1,000 people about 2 years ago to ensure that, yes, most of our people are ready for the development coming in. Presently, we are working on the farmers because now food has been a major problem, feeding ourselves. Like I said, Ibeju-Lekki has the largest landmass, 646 square kilometers in Lagos. So we told our people, even if you have sold land to people who are doing real estate, most of them have not started developing yet. You can still work with them and farm on the land. Ensure that you're only farming shrubs and vegetables. Don't go into long-term, perennial agriculture like planting of palm trees and all the rest. Just plants, cassava, vegetable. Those are things you can easily harvest when they come. And we just distributed about 500 bags of fertilizer recently. For the fish farmers too, we are going to give them this fish tank so that we want to start with 10 groups. We establish 10 groups. We give you the fish tanks with all the feedings and all the fish. At least we'll monitor them. If you can prove yourself to be to have interest in this, we can start taking some individuals later, but we want to start with 10 groups. So that would be 10 major tanks. I think it's about 4,000 liters a tank. That's what they use for this fish. That would take about 3,000 fish each. So we're looking at about, that means you have 3,000 into 10, that's about 30,000 fishes.
And that's it on the Gavel this week. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Benny Ark. See you next time. Be well and stay safe.